The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, is an inspirational hour that'll take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. Get ready to be transformed from Dr. Jenn's live guided healing meditations and intuitive readings, and unveil the power of connecting to spirit, the angels, and your higher self. Dr. Jenn is passionate about helping you find the answers you're looking for through an inward journey that'll strengthen your connection to spirit and help you trust your intuition. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jenn Royster.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Jenn. If you're brand new to the show, we do want to give you a big welcome. We're all about metaphysics, the angelic realm, energy healing and self-healing, raising our frequency to live in a higher fifth dimension world, and just keep going. It's a soul growth type of focus here. We work with the metaphysics, law of attraction, all kinds of stuff like that. I have lived this personally, and it has changed my life, health, physical, well-being, mind, everything. I mean, life just has so much more fulfillment. So I'm sharing things with you that I've been doing for quite a while, and I have been connected with angels pretty much my whole life, kept it a secret for a long time, just wasn't around in an environment that agreed with that as a child, so you just kind of keep it to yourself. Everybody knows what that feels like if you've moved into something like that. No judgment. They are where they're going to be, and I'm going to be where it's right for me now. So that's what feels free, when you're doing what's right for you. I share that because I know a lot of people that tune into this show, that's what they're trying to achieve. They're just trying to do what's right for them and put down the baggage of worrying about everybody else's choices or decisions. There's a lot of that. We have a lot of empaths that tune in because it's a highly sensitive group. Spiritual awakening will wake that up as well. I've been hearing from a lot of people where they're starting to feel this, or they've been having the dreams. So one of the questions I want to throw out there to you, if you're joining us live, if you're over in the YouTube chat, welcome. Love to see what everybody's been experiencing in the last week. Since last week's show, I was giving you some heads up. This week, what we're going to talk about is some very powerful 3 different aspects in astrology, and then ask angels for insight on that, because we've been through a lot in 2020. So how can we overcome some of the setbacks and make something out of it even better? And we're just going to look at that. It's not going to be, telling you what to do. It's going to help guide us into a way of life that's brand new, and just we're starting to, we've been in this for a while. We're getting used to the apple cart being upset and having to change and adjust on a daily basis. So have I. But if you, in the last week, have had a lot of dreams, have you had a lot of connection, have you had some interesting things? I've had a lot of people telling me they've been up at between 2 and 4 a.m. So have I, by the way. So have I for the last 3 or 4 days. Just wide awake. And I did want to address a question that was asked last week in the comments after the show in the archive over on YouTube, wanting to know, why are spirits active at 3 a.m.? Well, a lot of times it can be anywhere between 2 and 4. 3 a.m. is very common. It just depends on when you are, or what text or what opinion or viewpoint, perspective, different beliefs on that, okay? It's sometimes nicknamed the witching hour. They say there's more power at that time, or there's more of a connection. For me, my explanation and how I've personally experienced it is when we are in a subconscious state, that's like a meditative state. That's the state right before you're waking up. You're kind of awake, but you're just arousing. You're most receptive to things that are from other dimensions, or messages, angels, spirits, loved ones coming to visit and say hello. So sometimes your dreams, if you dream about someone like that, they may be coming from the other side. I just wanted you to know it's not like it's scary to me at all. It's actually just a time that it's easier to connect. You don't have all the conscious mind beliefs getting in the way. As soon as we're fully awake, sometimes we are just shutting all that down, because in other dimensions, it could be that purple elephants fly. I don't know. But, in a dream, you would see something like that. You accept it. You're more accepting to spirit. So a lot of times angels will work with you that way. Who's had their name called out to them? It might sound like it's in your own voice. A lot of times your soul, your higher self, angels will, reach out, and you'll just hear that in the, wee hours of the morning. Nothing to be frightened about. But if you do feel frightened or you do feel uneasy about an energy that's around you, ask for that protection, that shielding, and only allow the divine or anything that's uplifting and positive to raise your frequency come in. Because sometimes, there's mischief out there. You don't want to be drawn to that. You don't want to focus on that. So if you feel uneasy, and it's really a good idea, as soon as I feel something like that, I immediately make sure the shield is in place. It's kind of like checking your front door to make sure it's locked before you go to bed. If you think of it that way, it makes a lot more sense. Let me just check my spiritual doors, make sure they're locked, so it only brings, allows good things in. Then, it makes it a lot easier. It's a lot less chaotic, it's a lot less confusing, a lot less doubt, because you know that you can trust that. So I wanted to address that, because that's a really important question that I have seen a lot. It came up last week, and I just wanted to make sure I explain that a little bit better for everyone. Now, this week, it's really about a lot of the next week. There's 3 dates that we're going to look at. So we're going to talk about those dates. We have a lot going on here, so I want to make sure I get it in. August is very busy. It is preparing us. We've had some relief, we've had some positive. It just is constant, right? So now, today is one of the first ones, and I want to talk about that one first. Okay, so we have Mars Pluto Square in astrology. And that's when that does that, when it aligns, Mars and Pluto aligns, a square, or that's what they call it in astrology for people. I'm trying to talk lay, because that's not like I'm trying to be an astrologer. I am just taking the information that is studied, and I have all those programs too, and I really dive into that. But I'm more about the energy and the soul growth and the lessons we can take from this wonderful tool. It's also 90 degrees from each other. That's really what the square thing means. Usually that alignment is once a year. But in 2020, oh yes, 2020, we're going to have this alignment 3 times beginning today, August 13th. Yep, today's one of them. Yes, today's one of them. So, I wanted everybody to be aware. That's why I'm going to talk about this one first, because that's right now. We're in the moment. This one is a sign to pay attention to your energy. Pay attention and listen. It's going to try to show you something personally, but it's also going to be collective, like all of us are learning. Okay? When you have 3 of these within a few months, because the next couple of them, ones I believe in, there's 3 of them. I think it's October and December. Yes, October 9 is the second one. December 20th is the third one. Today is the first one. And we have a lawnmower outside the window, so you might hear that in a little bit. Next door to getting their grass cut. So here we go with this. So what does that mean on a collective level? That means maybe heated situations could escalate. Things will be a little sensitive, things that trigger or, upset. Restlessness, that's another one I thought was interesting. Restlessness, you might be restless, you might be awake a lot. You might be, which I was, I don't know how many other people were in the last week, but you just feel like you just feel a little guarded that, a situation could get a little more intense or unnecessarily intense. That's today. Okay, so just be aware of that, because you can work through that. See, this is a beautiful tool to just know the energies are out there not to cause problems, but to bring attention to some things that you might need to be aware of. So that's one of those. So you might be finding with this one, you want to ask yourself, are you projecting insecurities or fears out into the world? Blaming somebody else, or it's all because of something else, or a different way people believe. This is bringing attention to that. So if you feel that, or if you find that, maybe it's being, targeted at you, it's about not taking it personally. Someone's going through something. They're working it out, because it's going to bring things up to the light to be healed. That's why we want to look at this, because we want to work with the energy and bring it into a positive. So if you feel like you're losing control or somebody else has power over you, you might be hypersensitive to these energies. You take a deep breath, you shield up, you ask for that guidance and that 10-second rule. You know what? I'm not going to take this personally. I'm going to choose not to. And you'll feel it. I'm not going to say you won't feel it, but just choose. Just choose that, that's somebody else being sensitive, or, hey, I'm feeling sensitive about that. I'm just going to refrain from outlashing. I don't want to, project that out. It's making us aware of how we put that out into the world, into the collective, onto one another, when it's all something we're feeling inside. That's an energy for today. So the best way is just to ask yourself, am I projecting out on other people? Am I blaming somebody else? That's how you do this. That's how you work with this energy. And it's good to remind yourself, you know what? I'm going to take a deep breath and choose to respond differently, not let it get to me like that. And some might have more effort than others, but like I said, it's bringing it to our attention. If you feel powerless, a lot of times fear can trigger this type of reaction when we feel insecure, or we have fear, or we feel like we don't have any power or control over our lives. It can cause this. So there is a way to smooth through that. Be aware, you know what? That's it. That's right there. That's right there. It's going to teach you and show you, you know what, this needs to go out of my life. I need to go with that flow again and allow that to fall away. You might find some things crumbling and falling apart in your life. Why are we holding on to those things if they're really trying to leave? You have to ask yourself that, because only you know what the right answer is for yourself. So please be aware of that. I asked Michael about this one, because this one does conjure the fear and the insecurities, and he's really good with that. Your guardian angels keep bringing in a lot of reminders. Please, we're right there with you. Just ask for that ease and that comfort that you need to take a deep breath and respond differently in a situation if you need to. So that's it. Some of you may not feel that at all, but some may feel it a lot. Okay, if you're empathic, you might feel it a lot. So I'm going to move on. Okay, that was today. So now the next one is Uranus is going retrograde. And that's on August 15. That's in a couple of days. Why do we want to talk about this one? And I have brought this up a little bit a couple of weeks ago, but we're going to look at it a little bit more. Then we're going to look at the new moon that's coming. But the Uranus, and I'm moving because I have a lot of information, and then we'll look at questions. Okay, I want to get the information out because this is just a lot of dates all together within a few days of each other. Uranus retrograde Uranus is the planet of awakening, change, liberation. Okay, this one will be in retrograde until January 14 of 2021. So it's going to go in retrograde on the 15th of August and will stay retrograde until January 14, 2021. Now, when it's in retrograde, it helps us to iron out and fix and release things that are not stable in our life. This is a benefit. This is what we need to do right now. This is how we're going to work through some of the setbacks, how we're going to process and move through and use this last 4 remaining months of the year the best we can to be ready for 2021. Now, it will also guide you, this Uranus retrograde will also guide you to address things that are just, like I said, crumbling, falling apart, by either letting it go or helping you to gain a new perspective or approach that could make things better or strengthen it. Some of the things that it'll bring attention to for you may not be falling away, but need upgrading or updating or improvement, or maybe your attention. Maybe you just haven't had time. Things like that. Things that okay, now that's been underneath the surface. It's bringing more awareness to that. Now, sometimes it can take you by surprise. I know things like this can take you by surprise. But if you notice anything that just feels rocky, not stable, foundation's not good, it is guiding you to take a look at this. Evaluate it, because a retrograde is review. Remember, whatever it is the energy is, it's a review of what we need to work out. So it's not just trying to wreck your life, okay? It's really not. It's trying to awaken you to things to be aware of, to acknowledge, to take responsibility for. That's what this is about. You may see that you have a lot more dreams in this time. You might find that you're going over past history. You might find that you're just starting to connect spiritually a lot more. You're just starting to feel this and understand that. That's why we have this show here. In September is my goal on a lot of the things I'm going to be adding to my learning center on my website. So keep in touch with that. I send a newsletter out once a week. I don't like to send a newsletter out every day and drive you crazy. I send one out a week. It'll have the show or whatever course or whatever new information that I'm offering out there. It'll just all be in that one email. That's just the way I feel about it. I know marketers want me to do it like every other day or every day, but I just can't do that to people because I don't like it. I can't do to you what I don't want, right? But it's going to be in there. I'm working to release some of that stuff in September. So we're going to be working in those last 4 months with a lot of new information out there. So as Uranus is the planet of awakening, we may feel more connected to spirit, your angels, guides. You may receive visits from people that you love that have crossed over. Things like that. The dreams, the visions will be more active. This is the planet of spiritual awakening. Remember that. So if you've been working on that, it'll be easier. For those that weren't ready for that and it's happening, I've had questions about that in the last week. I've had several people just tell me, whoa, okay, this is what happened last night. I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's work about it. So I'm hearing quite a bit from people that aren't used to that. They just feel like they're more analytical. They're not trying to work on intuition, but it's happening anyway. That's pretty much going to happen a lot as people awaken, whether you wanted to connect or not. If you have that intention and you're aware of it, and you are learning to connect with something that's going to be beneficial to you, like higher frequency divine intervention, that kind of thing. Like, you don't want to really be wasting your time with things that are just going to be causing havoc and chaos and all over the place. That doesn't do you any good. It's just sidelining you and distracting you. That's not what we want. So those shields that I talk about, you can just ask for that shielding of protection to only connect with those things that are going to be for your best good, for your highest good, that'll help you grow on a soul level. That's what your soul here is all about. It's all about that focus. So that's something to understand. Now, here's another interesting point about Uranus retrograde. It is in Taurus. It's in the sign of Taurus. And why is that? Why am I bringing that up? Because in Taurus, you might feel the tug the push, the pull, the tug, the yes, the no, about embracing new and letting go of old. You might feel like, you might want to be trying to bring new in and keep all the old, things like that. That's a Taurus energy, because Taurus is a very steady, loyal type of energy, and dedicated and steadfast. A little bit more stubborn, if you want to call it that. That word to me seems more negative, because stubborn can mean a lot, that you're just trying to stand in your own truth and what's right for you. A Taurus is never rushed to make a decision. Let me tell you that right now. Nope, not. They are not rushed. You won't rush them. They will do it when it feels right for them. So if you feel like you're seeing things like that, don't be hard on yourself. Just ask for that open on that. And here's the thing. Uranus will be in Taurus, whether it's retrograde or not, till 2026. So we have a few years of spiritual awakening planet busy, okay? That's a lot. That's for several years. You might find that you're feeling, you have feelings, or you're noticing that you're more preoccupied with your security, comfort. If it's in Taurus, that's finance as well. Any of that. Comfort, material possessions, what's your relationship with your diet, your food? Does it need improving? All these different areas of life. Taurus is about all of that. So you might find that, you're seeing things like that, that you want to try to improve or change. Depending on what it is, you're looking for, what is a false sense? What is false? Let me put it this way. Sometimes we're kidding ourselves and we are just, yeah, I'm good, but we're not really, and we know it. What's bringing you a false sense of security or contentment? If on the underneath, it's just not feeling. See, Uranus will bring this up and make it more aware to you where that is. And these are good things that we can bring from this. This is how we figure out what's been the setback and how we're responding to the setback. A setback, for example, 2020's had a lot. It's called a setback, but it's really about all the changes, or, whoa, a plan we had in place just went on hold for it feels like ever. All of those kinds of things. What am I supposed to do with that? What do we do? You're looking to go into a creative mode, find different routes. When we can see that, yeah, I'm seeing this. The awakening helps you see things from all these different perspectives that will really help you make some decisions going forward. Changing it up. Listening. Now, this is Gabriel again. For the last several weeks, pretty much through the month of August, it's been Gabriel and Archangel Michael. Gabriel's about that communication. We want to be listening. That's part of communication, is listening, not just, talking out there. It is about listening too. Are we listening? Are we listening to that uneasy feeling that's coming up about something? Are we acknowledging? Or are we just pretending it's not there? We're just going to not go there. No, that's going to ping you for a bit. You don't want to do that. Honestly, there is a lot of freedom, and it lifts, and you just feel this sigh of relief when you just stop avoiding it and you go there and you work on it. So that's part of that. So in November, when it comes to the end of November, Uranus will be the only planet in retrograde, because we've got a lot of them going back and forth with that. But think about you. Think about, now that was the collective too, but think about how this will affect you, or maybe what will happen. So here's how you can get a little bit of a clue. And you want to look back at January 11 of 2020. What was going on then, and how much have you grown since then? That'll give you a little bit of a clue on where you are with this and how it might affect you personally. How it might help you personally is what I would prefer to say. what things have changed for you since January 11. Now, everybody in the world can probably say a lot. This year, yes, if we look back at January 11 and we look at now, what has changed? What has grown? What has entered your life? What new developments? What has fallen away? What still needs to fall away? Things like that. What still feels rocky or off the chart, not right, you know? What keeps knocking you off course, distracting you? Where can you go with the flow more? That's what this one's about. That's what we want to talk about right there. So you want to look at that and ask that. Now, we're going to go into the new moon. I want to get this one out, and then we will look at questions or what you have going on, if there's anything out there for that. So if you're in there, put it out there. I want to make sure I have time to get that, because there was a lot to put into one. Usually I can break this up into 3 different shows, but this is all coming up within a few days. I wanted you to have the information before. So here we go, new moon. This is a Leo new moon. Yeah, that's what I love about the picture that I chose and the quote that I put up with that picture this week, because you want to strive to make progress, not be perfect. This year will be really good for you, because you want to strive to make progress in a new direction. You don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to strive to make some sort of progress somewhere. And perfectionists have a tendency to not try at all until it can be perfect. And we don't get anywhere. You never get out of the starting gate like that. It's never going to move forward for you. So Leo, you know, always reminds me of courage and getting out there and standing on your own 2 feet and believing in yourself. Okay, so this is a very powerful new moon. This is going to have a reminder in it about what happens in life. No matter what happens, there's always tomorrow, and this too shall pass. It has a very optimistic support that it brings, and not to be afraid to stand out there and you know, give it your all on whatever you are about, whatever is right for you. You know, we get so caught up in worrying about what everybody else is thinking about what we do, and then we don't get anywhere. So this new moon is going to fall on August 18, maybe 19, depending on where you are in the world. So you want to look at where you are in the world, but it's 18, 19. So that's a few days. So here we have today the 13, we have Mars and Pluto. We went over that at the beginning of the show. On the 15th of August, we had the Uranus going retrograde. And now on the 18th, 19th, we have this new moon in Leo. Now, this is going to bring a strong solar energy. And new moons, what are they about? They're about beginnings, something brand new, ready to move forward. This is going to help you tune into your inner spiritual self, your light. It's going to light up the hidden in your world, inside you. Now, what I like about this one, this new moon brings that sense of opportunity for growth and change. That's what I like about this one. We have the opportunity for growth and change. After all these setbacks or changes or sudden redirections we've had all through 2020, we have the opportunity for a lot of growth and change. Now, I don't know about you, but that feels good to hear that. I like hearing that. I loved seeing that message for you. And okay, yay, we're ready. Now, if you go through from January all the way till now, and you look at how much you've been through and how much stronger you are you even acknowledging that? What used to be really difficult for you before with change, you've been through so much change already in the last several months. It feels easier to make a change now when they come up, because there's still going to be some more, that's just happening. There's going to be more coming up, so we're ready for it. It's been training us. Oh yes, we've been getting stronger and stronger about this. So here's another point that this new moon brings up. How are we going to spend our time in the best way possible in what's left in this year? How can we make the most out of the last 4 months of the year? This one brings that question up. You want to ask yourself that. For some of you, it might be finishing a project. It might be, for others, it might be learning how to balance your life with more rest, maybe more wellness focus, more self-care. It depends on what you need in your life to bring that balance in. But for some of you, it might be you're going to finish a project that you haven't finished, or you're going to balance out with self-care and healthcare. So things like that. So some of us are just going to be taking a rest or a break. So you might find that there's a mixture out there. Not everybody's on the same journey. We have to remember that. We're all not on the same journey. We have a lot of collective lessons we're learning together this year, but we also have our individual ones too, which helps us become a better individual in the collective. When we work on that, we now become a participant in the collective in a positive way, and we can do a lot more good that way for ourselves and what we put out into the world. So that's that connection we all have. There's no right or wrong way to use this time. This time that we have in the next 4 months, there's no right or wrong. It's not about giving up on your dreams. It's not about giving up on yourself. No, absolutely not. This is about looking at where you are, what has entered your life, or, okay, this is the hand I've been dealt. What am I going to do with this? How can I make the most of this? Versus, oh, this all happened to me. What can you do with it? How can you lift yourself up? Pick yourself up. How can you say, you know what? Opportunities are here for me. Miracles are happening. I just have to be open to it. This new moon will guide you in that direction to be more optimistic. We could use some optimism, yes? Optimism. And, put that uplifting energy into everything that you're thinking about. Like to remind you that I could make better use of my time if I did whatever. That's what you want to do with this. It's a motivating time. It's inspiring us. It's uplifting you. That we need, yes, that's good. We want that. So you have a couple of energies here, and then you have this coming in behind it. So some of it's going to bring up some of the stuff that doesn't feel so positive. And then this rolls in and we'll have, okay, now how can we look at this optimistically? Our spiritual awakening, all that Uranus retrograde is showing us some things. Whoa. How can we make the most of this and improve? You want to not be afraid. That's what I like about Leo energy. You don't want to be afraid to make a decision for yourself. I see that with people sometimes. I've had that happen to me before. You just don't want to make a decision at all. You don't want to be afraid to make a decision. There's no right or wrong decision here. You want to feel empowered to make decisions for yourself. You want to be able to do that. So it's a very active time. Now, at the time of the new moon, the Mars energy is active too. So that's a proactive energy right along with this optimism if you choose to use that in a positive way. Now, Mars has two sides. Everything has a shadow side to it. It has a positive or negative approach. I would say when you feel that Mars energy, which is more aggressively proactive to get things done, you don't want to be irritable and cranky or impatient. That would be more shadow. You want to take this energy of Leo and go, you know what? I got to be optimistic about this. I'm going to get in there and do it. And if you hit a stumbling block, you go, okay, let me pull back. Let me find another route. Instead of it just going, oh, everything's ruined and giving up. No. But Mars is a very, very busy energy and will be escalating and building as we move into September. So I wanted to bring you guys that and be aware. So let me catch up on the chat. because I don't know if there's questions out there. I didn't even look at it because I wanted to make sure I had information out there. So I want to say hello to everyone. Welcome to the show there, guys. Hello. Wow. Maddie, I've been waking up around 2:33 almost every night and hearing my name. I also have been seeing cats everywhere, and I'm trying to figure out what the angels may be trying to tell me. Any advice? Ooh, like that one. Okay, yes. Hearing your name called out, they're getting your attention. Cats are all about intuition and independence. And if you think about a cat is an energy that, you know, when you're looking at power animals, or if the energy of cats come into your life, it's like we bring that energy into our life that helps us with where we are. Cats are very independent. You don't tell them what to do. And they're very confident about their choices, and they don't care what you think. Have you ever? I've had cat before. I've had a few. But I mean, the independent, and they're very intuitive. Cats are very intuitive or psychic. So, cool one for you. They're reminding you that the cat energy is there to help you with those aspects in your life. That's exactly what I got from that. And that's a good one. And here's the thing, guys. If you're waking up at 2:33 and you feel like, oh no, I'm not getting enough sleep, going with the flow with that, and instead of getting tense about it, sometimes you just have to grab a book and read, or get up and do something different, make a cup of tea or something. Something, you know, just change it up a little bit. And then if you are hearing things or getting information like Maddie was talking about, ask. Just say, you know, okay, you got my attention. I'm listening. So that's what I got for you, Maddie. Minnie is also saying, in a dream, my name was spoken and told to look at Neptune in my chart. Okay, Neptune's a very spiritual planet too. That's about your spiritual awakening as well. That one's that's interesting. I see that. So go with that. But see, what's cool is people are hearing and listening, and so you have that connection too. Beth, Jen, I actually felt a giant sense of relief, clarity, and peace today. Awesome. Accepting what is on my plate and looking forward to a thoughtful, larger future. Perfect. This energy is going to be very beneficial for you, Beth. Perfect. You're right in the pocket with that. I love it. Journey to becoming me. Maddie, you have such a sweet energy. Sending hugs to you. Oh, that's sweet. See, that was to Maddie. I have been getting woke up in the middle of the night quite a bit as well. What's up with that? It's our spirit connecting with the other dimensions, honestly. This is very common in the last week, so I love it. That has been, and I was addressing it a little bit earlier. I don't know when you came into the show, you might have missed it, but it is just listening, go with it, instead of going, why is this happening? You know, be optimistic about it. Think about what we've been talking about tonight or today. Okay, you guys are sending, and there's we may have my co-host chiming in with somebody around the house doing some maintenance. They were supposed to be here a couple of hours ago. So they're here right now in the middle of the show. Okay. We will just keep going. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let's see, what else did we have? Robin, going with flow means I'm still being guided to stay at my job and work on my responses to triggers. Thank you, but I hear you, Robin. I do. If you feel guided to stay at the job you're in, which it feels like you don't really want to be, you want something else, but it might just be, here's the thing that I love about what you're saying here, and you're working on your responses to triggers. You're hearing intuition really well for you, because what I'm hearing with that is the timing. For you to work on the triggers now in this one, now you can carry those strengths with you to a new one, because just changing jobs sometimes doesn't, if we still have triggers to work on, you're going to take that with you. You don't want to take that with you to something new and fresh. So temporary, feels very temporary. So just stay with it and go with it. Beth is saying, this is so true. I have really been working hard on trying to prioritize my personal life over my work life. And I feel that help in, awesome. That's fantastic, Beth. Calvin, as you were describing This morning I was between asleep and awake when I had a dream about a Grim Reaper figure at my door. Do I take that literally, or as in the tarot calls for radical change? Yes. Yes, not literal, more metaphoric. And a lot of times anything to do with the Grim Reaper or death or anything like that is like something, you know, some part of the life of the old you is moving on. I mean, I've had death dreams about myself. Oh, I've had crazy intense dreams where being murdered and all kinds of stuff. But it was when I was going through a lot of change and I was healing through something really tough, and it was releasing, and that old energy was just going away, and it's gone. If you think, you know, death means it's gone or, you know, done. But no, I'm not feeling that at all. I think you just have change, and you're going through a metamorphosis right now of shifting, changing your perspective, changing how you feel about things, a lot of things like that. So not literal. Veronica, sleep was choppy a few weeks ago. I just slept 17 hours, nothing wrong physically. There you go. See, that's going with the flow. After you have several days of being awake, then you might have a really good sleep. It's okay. Just go with it. Fantastic. Look at all these people that have been awake. We've all been awake in the middle of the night lately. I'm seeing that. Robin, funny squirrels have come into my life. They are staying closer and not running away. A couple actually turned around to give me messages. What does that mean? What do squirrels do? Especially in the fall. They are busy. They're storing, they're stocking, they're getting their pantry ready, they're collecting, they're gathering for a long endurance of winter. Sounds like that energy that I'm feeling for you, Robin, is there something you need to prepare for? That isn't a negative. Like, I live in hurricane area, okay, in the southeast. We have hurricane ready all the time. That's not a bad thing. I'm just ready, you know, if it happens. But it could mean something different. It just seems like there's something to prepare for. Squirrels, they're always ready, man. They've got their stash buried or hidden, and they're collecting their nuts, and then they're busy with their kids, and they're very protective of their families. It seemed like that. So that's what I'm picking up for you on the squirrel. They also move very quickly, and they have a lot of energy. So that kind of energy will give you what you need to get some tasks done. So I find this intriguing for you, Robin. So keep us posted on how that turns out for you. This show, wow, we are going so fast. So I have a few more minutes left, so I want to make sure. If we go back into I want to go a little bit more into this about what some things you can do, because with the energy of the new moon, very optimistic, very positive, very proactive, the angels that work really well with that, especially if you guys are waking up and doing that, ask Gabriel to help you with clear communication. Ask Gabriel to do that. Michael, if the fears are coming up. Gabriel is really strong right now about that communication, and Mars being so active, that's a go-getter. That's a lot Michael can help you with, like, how can I use this, all this motivation, all this drive. There's also your higher self, you yourself, your own intuition, connecting with your soul's journey and where it wants to take you. What do you truly want? I mean, your soul is who you really are. And a lot of what I'm seeing when people were sharing about being woke up and hearing their name, sometimes that could be what we've been asking for this whole time. Like, where do I go? What's my soul purpose? What's this? What's that? Yeah, you want to listen. You want to listen to it. It's working with you because you have that intention. You want to work with it. So Mars being very active with the new moon can bring a lot of motivation and drive with the new moon, and that's in a few days on the 18th. Like I said, you might feel really inspired. You might have a lot of energy, like more energy than usual. Or for some of you, you might need a little extra motivation and energy, like squirrel energy can bring you. Depending on the task at hand or the project or what you're trying to change or do. I mean, think about the energy you need to really move, okay? Think about that. So if it's important, do you feel, ask yourself that, do you feel it's important to listen to what your body is telling you? You're connecting with your wisdom? Yes. But do you feel that it's important? It's very important. Your soul knows exactly why you're here. You won't want to discount that. So lots of triggering of energy levels and moving and going forward. And we have Leo in there, and it's like courageous. I love it. So whatever manifests in your life, is it what you need? Do you trust it? Are you patient with it? Things like that. So protecting your energy, I mean, this is the good stuff here. So this new moon has a lot of energy, like a lot of power to raise things up, and then has an optimistic approach. So embracing it with a positive attitude can really get you moving in a direction that you may have felt stuck for a very, very long time. So if we had any kind of tension around us at this time, with anybody, with anything heated up, you don't know, this is a perspective that I want to remind everybody about. You know how you feel about a situation, but we may or may not understand the perspective from another's place. We don't know what they've been through. We don't know what's going on sometimes. They have a life that is theirs. And so sometimes we don't understand it, but it's having the capacity to have that compassion that, okay, I don't know what's going on with them, but they've obviously got something going on that I don't know about, and that's not my business. We have to take that approach, and we focus on what we do know. And I wanted to remind everybody that's something that will really be helpful in the next several months. Really, it's helpful all the time. And this new moon in Leo will be filling a lot of light and a lot of positive optimism into the world. It'll help with the tensions. It'll help us handle it, because we'll have a perspective that's a lot lighter. And if you've been doing this waking up, like you're saying, then listen to that. And if you don't know what it means, ask for the clarity. So between Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, they've got us covered for this month of August. I don't know about into the next few months, but they are very strong right now in this moment. So I'm hoping that everyone will listen to that and just really share that. Now, before we go, it looks like we may have a caller. I don't know if the caller is still there. If they are, I've got a few minutes I can take a caller. So let me know.
Yes.
And
hello?
Hello?
We have Deborah from Missouri.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi.
Hi, we have a few minutes, so what can we do for you?
Okay, the other day I woke up and I sat up in bed, and my dressers where my mirror is, it was all green. And so I laid back down, and I sat back up again and blinked my eyes, and it was still green.
Well, green's not a bad color. Green is a color of new life, and that's new. It's living. It's good. I mean, green means healing. It means new. So the energy of green is good. Colors mean different energies, and if you are seeing green, there's a lot of healing. There's a lot of new living life in whatever is going on in life for you. So that's actually a very good message that I'm hearing. How did you feel about it when you saw the green?
I wasn't afraid or anything. I was trying to wondering now, am I dreaming here or am I awake? So, yeah.
Well, it sounded like you were actually in your subconscious to be open like I was talking about earlier in the show, you were just more open to the message of the green. The green is very good. Some people will see different colors, but to see that specific color, yeah, that means that's a good, vibrant color for when things are in renewal. It's a renewal color. A lot of things are just becoming renewed, fresh, starting over. It's a healing color for whatever might need healing. Did it have a certain hue to it, like light or darker?
It was kind of in between, I would say. That's why I was trying to see what color the green it was. So yeah. Yeah. No, that's actually a very. I would feel a lot of. There's my co-host Emmy again. Can't do anything about that noise with the dog. Sorry, guys. She's way on the other side of my house. So, if you had. She doesn't like somebody out there. But green is a very, very positive color, because if you had, like, for example, a white color, it's very, spiritual. There's things lightening up for you. You're looking to see clearer. Purple, that's a very spiritual color, the seventh chakra. Also the green is associated with your heart chakra, the fourth chakra. Emotions and feelings, intense, positive and negative. So there sounds like there's just a lot of healing and a lot of renewal going on in your life. Does that associate? Yeah, that does. Yes.
Oh, I love that. And if I had woke up to see that, that would put a smile on my face, like, oh, that's a good sign. Any color really is. It's just understanding the terminology of the energy it was showing you. So what a beautiful message, and thanks for calling in to share it.
Yeah, and thank you, too, for everything you do.
Oh, well, thank you. Good to talk to you, Deborah. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
You too.
Okay, wow. See, colors are awesome. So it could be numbers. It could be colors. It could be animals that we've seen. It could be you're waking up and you're hearing. It's just being tuned into it. And we have a lot going on here. Like we said, if you missed some of the... I know, we've got barking. I'm sorry, guys, I know. We're about to go off the air, so I'm trying to wrap it up. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that has been tuning in, that has joined us. And like I said, if you are interested in some of the new things, or you want to get onto the email list, I send it out once a week. I don't send any more. Right now, there's just some free courses over there if you want to get into one of those. Don't have any other things in there right now because I've been revamping and we're working on some things that'll go out. Hopefully in September I'll start rolling them out. But things that we need right now as we move into something different. And we're going to just take this whole new approach here that I've been working on. So I just pulled it all and we're going to really restart it. So I've been going through changes too. The show, I just want to say I feel very blessed to be here. I feel very blessed to share things with you guys. I feel blessed at the crowd that will show up every week. And I just don't want anybody to feel like they're out there isolated and alone and feel like they have no hope. That is not the case at all. So thank you for joining, sharing, and everyone that was in the chat sharing and uplifting one another. I love seeing that. That means a lot for me when I see you guys helping each other too. So I do want to say thank you. I hope that everyone has enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time on the Jenn Royster Show. Namaste.
You've been listening to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. If you've missed any part of this show or any other show, visit www.jennroyster.com.